repeated intrusion. When are they going to stop it?
In Germany, I mainly worked as a GP. Then I went to England and I worked as a doctor here. In a normal way, as a doctor, I wrote prescriptions, and some of these drugs or medicines which I got were for my own use. Some I gave to friends. Eventually they got a pharmacist to tell lies about me, and that then brought me into prison.
The German doctor is neatly dressed, but his mission is less conventional. 38-year-old Klaus Wagner has become notorious as a stalker tracking the Princess of Wales.
Diana, drug addict. Diana, I don't know. It depends, you know, how people want to look at things, I suppose.
Morals. Just morals, nothing else.
Diana.
Lacking morals. Not lacking anything else, just only morals.
Diana.
Domine dirige nos.
O Lord, guide us.
Diana. What?
Evil, darkness, violence.
Though most stalkers are largely concerned with gaining a relationship or pursuing a relationship they mistakenly believe exists, there's a small group of stalkers who the victim is part of some delusional system which has got nothing to do with intimacy and nothing to do with sex. They play some role in this person's mad worldview, and they pursue them in the hope of fulfilling this deluded pursuit.
Oh dear.
They didn't understand it. They think I'm mad.
While I was in prison, I had a lot of time, and I was bored, but I had free access to the Bible and tabloid newspapers, and I discovered that the way Diana was being treated by the tabloid newspapers, all the lies and slander, and also the ruthless invasion into her privacy, was human rights abuse, and I decided in prison that I would stop this abuse against Diana. I've got reason enough to believe that the Queen, the Princess Diana, are predicted in the Bible. And in Revelation chapter 6 and chapter 19, the so-called rider on the white horse is predicted, and he's the one who will overthrow the beast, which seems to be the Queen. And we also know about him that he has got a robe dipped in blood. Now, when I worked as a surgeon, my robe was very often full of blood. So as far as I'm concerned, this could be me, but whether or not it is actually me will have to be seen in the future.
When Klaus was in prison, he told me that he fell in love with another woman. He did tell me afterwards that he was talking about Diana. I think it's a type of revenge against the Queen, because all he used to mention was E2R everywhere in the prison. And the other prisoners didn't like him at all, because he kept shouting that the Queen is the beast. That's why I got his nose broken in the on the Sunday morning service. He said in church someone turned around and punched him in the nose because I had enough of it.
I took a long time to actually find out that the Queen was the beast, and obviously I could never have done that if I wasn't in prison, because I was working on this problem perhaps for about 4 weeks until I came to a conclusion. Now, this image here is the so-called beast out of the sea described in Revelation chapter 13. A slim body like the body of a leopard, feet of a bear, and it's got the mouth of a lion. Now, the beast out of the earth can be recognized by the fact that it has 2 horns like a lamb. And the shape of the English crown, the upper parts, looks like 2 horns bent inwards. Another feature is that the beast is supposed to speak like a dragon. And we know that the dragon is the symbol of the City of London. That matches nicely. And the most important feature to recognize the beast is that the beast makes people wear the so-called mark of the beast either on their foreheads or on their right hands. And you find the name Elizabeth on British coins. So that matches nicely. Another thing that matches is that you can actually calculate e to r into 666 quite nicely and simply, because 666 is 37 times 18, and we've got E, letter number 5, we've got the 2, and we've got R, letter number 18. And if we compare 37 times 18 with 5, 2 and 18, we've got one match here already, 18 and 18, and we can also simply calculate 5 and 2 into 37 by calculating that 5 minus 2 is 3 and 5 plus 2 is 7. And that way we can calculate e to r into 666. Yes. Diana.
Body of a leopard, 2 horns like a lamb, speaks like a dragon. Mark of the beast, E to R, on policeman's forehead.
Isn't it about time you gave all this up?
Mouth of the lion. This is the mark of the beast. 37 times 8.
Feet of a
Revelation
bear.
chapter 13.
Domine,
You can see on every footballer's t-shirt 666. Disasters have been predicted to strike Britain. The Queen should just realize. Yeah, I have to, explain the significance of the dragon again.
Klaus thinks none of this affects me, it's none of my business. But it does affect me, because I wouldn't have social workers coming to see if the children were okay. They've threatened to take my children into care if I remain with Klaus because of his behaviour. He doesn't talk about anything else, or he never used to. He'd be up all night, the whole night, looking through papers he'd get from the recycling bins to see if there was anything about Diana.
Well, it doesn't matter to her. She's not affected by all this. The only thing how she is affected is if she gives me support, she can make me strong. If she gives me grief, she can weaken me.
I think I'm quite patient because I hear it every day, morning, noon and night, every week, every month. It goes on, there's no end. I hear the same things over and over again. And it comes a time when you think, if I hear it one more time. But then I just take a deep breath and I try not to say anything.
Here, control is the important thing. This is a person who is highly intelligent, but he needs to be in control. Then he can be reasonably happy. If he loses that control, then the problems will occur for him and possibly for others. Letters like the Y and the G are made in more than one movement, and that tends to show unhappiness and imbalance somewhere in the personality. This person may well act quite normally for a long while apart from writing letters, but suddenly something may crack within the individual, some circumstance may affect him, which will then induce him to cause problems to other people.
Yes, according to the Revelation, the beast will end up in a fiery lake of burning sulfur. Sulfur is a component of gunpowder, another explosive that could mean that the Queen will die from the violence of...
Clearly, if the person is severely mentally disordered and increasingly intrusive, this is worry. If the person's a substance abuser and becomes threatening, if the person has already got a history of violence, all of these things increase the risk.
The doses he was taking were really high. It was like a bottle of morphine a day.
I wouldn't say I've never taken drugs, but I was certainly not addicted to drugs.
He would start injecting into the groin, so no one would notice his arms. And there are huge scars still there today. Huge, like big holes, massive holes. He's lost all sensation there. They're still there now. So you can't say that he wasn't, because anybody can see by those huge scars. I did start to worry about the drugs when he used to give himself an anaesthetic in a heel to go to sleep. And he wouldn't remember anything the next day that had happened while he was out. which is dangerous because if there was a fire during the night, I wouldn't be able to wake him up.
Shamim gives me so much grief that she is in fact the Queen's strongest supporter. You know, nobody can actually prevent me from doing damage to the Queen to the point where she will have to resign eventually, but Shamim can. She has got the power to do it, and she does it.
I received many letters with Bible quotations, which I didn't understand. They were quite disturbing to me because I hadn't received letters like that telling me about, I will come to you, I will come like a thief, nobody knows what time of night or day it will be. I took these as threats to me personally. The day he was released from the court, he was really strange, frightening really, but I couldn't put him out at all. You know, I mean, my dad, I've been brought up like that by my dad. He wouldn't put a dog on the street, you know. I think that's the way Klaus will always be. And if he was to receive medical help, it would have to be forever, because no one can change someone's personality unless they do a lot of damage to their brain by long-term use of drugs. That just clouds over their opinions, their views.
The newspapers always print that she goes to the Harbour Club 3 times a week. I went there to give her some papers because I had previously sent them by post, and I had reason to believe that there was some kind of palace censorship preventing her from seeing them.
Because he wasn't able to send a letter in the normal way to Diana, he had to go and pursue her himself, show placards to become noticed. He even admitted that these are ridiculous methods that he has to resort to, but Klaus is thick-skinned. He's not really worried about what anybody thinks.
I sent my papers to St. James's Palace office. I left them at the Harbour Club. I gave them to her brother. I gave them to her friend Kate. I gave them to her solicitor, and I gave them to her psychotherapist.
I've done it. I've done it. I've just given a short version of all my papers which I have collected for Diana about the abuses against her and how she can tackle them, and certain Bible prophecy explaining that the Queen is the beast. I've just put that underneath her windscreen wiper when she entered the Harbour Club. And that's it. My mission is accomplished now. There's no more reason at all for me to go and see her anywhere, because she's got all the information now that I want her to have.
It was written in these papers that if she wanted to have the full set, she could ask me to bring it to her. And what she has done, we don't know. I think she may well have phoned her mother-in-law, who she calls the mother-in-law from hell, and she may well have told her, look, Elizabeth, I've got reason to believe that you're the beast.
Even after giving his papers to Diana and promising that that was it, he went again to her. There he was in the crowd, where Diana was, trying to hand over the papers, being arrested by the police. And I said to Klaus, oh, there's you, in the crowd, trying to hand over papers to Diana. Isn't that funny? And he said, oh no, I didn't know Diana was there. I was just in the crowd. I don't know when it will end. Probably when he finds another addiction. I think I've been a victim, really, of Klaus.
Such a lovely day, and we've still got the beast on the throne.